Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
In answer to his question about the subjects.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Oh, what a compliment. For that, I thank you.
What is happening now? There are hopeless and hungry.
Now it's time for us to stand up to God or we'll fall to nothing.
It's time now for Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Listening to the general public, what the public is saying.
And good afternoon, Radio Cayman Nation, and a very happy Thursday to you. Thank you for tuning into your station of the nation, Radio Cayman. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We will be sitting down with the one and only Miss Melanie McField to discuss this year's Pirates Week, following this very brief disclaimer.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Live Communication.
Let your voice be heard. Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. As always, we do welcome your stories, feedback, and questions, and invite you to join our conversation. Simply dial 1-800-534-8255, or you can always WhatsApp us at 925-3261. And again, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne, and very pleased to have in studio Miss Melanie McField from Pirates Week.
Hello, Ray.
Hello. Good. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you too, and happy Thursday to the entire Cayman Islands.
Absolutely. I hope everyone's out there enjoying the weather. We've had some beautiful weather the past few days.
We have.
After what?
I enjoyed the rain, but no more rain for now, please.
It was the standing water that was more the issue, right? You know, when your shoes get wet, now your socks are wet, or if you're wearing heels, it's just as bad, I'm assuming.
Very. Not nice with the heels.
No, but we had some nice waves coming in, but I'm sure many are happy that calmer beaches
are
definitely. Back and, again, welcome back to Talk Today.
Thanks for having me.
You're no stranger to the station. You've been on our station quite a bit.
No stranger to the station.
But first time for this year.
First time for this year. Mm-hmm.
So we've been asking many of our listeners, or many of our guests rather, over the past.
Actually, correction, I was here for K-Fest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, earlier this year. Promoting K-Fest, yes. February.
In February.
In February, yes.
All right, so since the world went upside down, you have not been into the
First time since the world went upside down. That's correct.
The world went upside down. That's the way we should describe COVID, is the world just, basically somebody took a handbag, turned it upside down, and shook it. And everything kind of fell out of the handbag, right? It is.
Especially with my handbag.
Do you have like gum wrappers and all those little things?
Yes, I do. And receipts galore that I refuse to throw away until like months later.
There's something about that. I remember I was a little boy. I guess completely way off topic. When you go with your mom's handbag, there you have to get something in the handbag, and you put your hand in, you kind of go, whoa.
Yep.
I'm not putting my hand in that bag anymore. I don't know what just touched my hand, but something jumped out of that bag and went, ow! Like a hair clip or something.
Well, I wish I had something that would jump out when my daughter puts her hand in my bag.
Put in hair clips upside down, so you know.
Yep.
Then again, she probably wears hair clips, right?
Yeah. Yes, she does.
So when you're a little boy and you put your hand in and something sticks in your fingernails, and it's the upside down hair clip, right?
That's an indication your hands do not belong.
There you go. That's exactly it, right?
Yep.
So that's a good way to describe 2020. But we've been asking all of our guests since they've been coming in how they experienced the lockdown, and just to give our listeners some color to the show and really find out where you're at after 9 months of handbag upside downness.
Yeah, so my experience, my lockdown experience, I must say gratitude was a big part of it for me. I mean, by nature, I'm a hermit crab. I like to be home anyway.
Sure.
But, there were 4 persons in my house. So having those 4 persons around you constantly, personalities clashing, that was probably the extent of challenge that I had during COVID. It gave me the opportunity to really delve into the studies for my daughter who was doing homeschooling. So that part of it I truly appreciated, and I have the utmost respect for teachers and what they have to go through, on a daily basis with children. So, but I must say I got a lot of rest, a lot of sleep, gained a few pounds, but hey, grateful. Had a memorable experience during COVID, but at the same time, I truly felt it for many people who aren't here with us today, and had can't say the same in terms of their experiences. So we're back and ready to get down to business.
Absolutely. How did you find relearning or learning Common Core for the first time?
Learning what?
Common Core math. Did you have to learn any of the Common Core math?
No. Thankfully, my daughter she taught me.
Okay, so she had to teach you math.
Yes.
Okay, you're not the only one. We've had others on the show who they lost hair as a result of Common Core. And
yeah, no, Deja, my daughter, I must say she was on top of things, except with some scheduling. She had some scheduling issues, so I kept her organized. Sure. But she knew her stuff.
Good. Well, it saved you one battle there.
Yes,
having
exactly.
to learn the Common Core and then teach the Common Core.
Yes.
So good for you on that one. Well, welcome.
And her teacher was always accessible, so that made life so much easier.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I will give a lot of schools credit for how they managed the online learning. There was a learning curve there, but they all adapted to it quite quickly. And
absolutely.
So many were quite accessible, but the Common Core math is one of those running jokes that I've found a lot of humor in from different people who went, I don't know what I'm doing. Why can't they do it this way?
Totally agree.
But, well, again, now we're talking Pirates Week.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to have a festival. Not your typical festival.
Sure. For obvious reasons. We have existing restrictions that we have to abide by. And mostly the number... 500 or less people. Pirates Week attracts thousands of people. Sure. So we've had to put on our thinking caps and get quite creative this year with spreading those events to various venues and making sure, again, that we can control the numbers. Sure. Having a festival downtown, that's literally impossible. So we've had to... we weren't in the position to hold the normal staples such as the fireworks, the food court, the parade on land. But we've been able to get very creative and put together an exciting schedule of events.
Will there be any kind of fireworks that we can partake in this year?
There will be fireworks in the Brac, and there will be fireworks in Little Cayman.
Okay, so we
but
have to...
But not in Grand Cayman, unfortunately.
Flood the sister islands to
yes, flock to the sister islands. Exactly. And we encourage, obviously, local tourism is a big thing during COVID. Course, so we're still encouraging that. From my understanding, the flights to Little Cayman for the Little Cayman Festival have been completely booked out. So
well, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
That's great, yeah.
So I almost did not get on a flight. But I've been able to make those arrangements and so looking forward to it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So we're going to have smaller events, obviously.
Smaller events.
First obvious question is, how are you planning on curtailing the numbers at these events?
So we have, for most of the events, there are ticket sales involved.
Okay.
So we're able to, count how many people have purchased tickets.
Sure.
So that's one way of controlling it. Also, there are other events that wouldn't normally attract the numbers that the staple events attract, but we would still get sufficient numbers for an enjoyable festival or enjoyable event for that specific event. The Cayman Brac Festivities actually kick off this Saturday, and they have quite an exciting lineup of family games. They have a pirate treasure hunt, a costume competition, a barbecue buffet, and this is all taking place at the Alexander Hotel. Okay. And that's a family-friendly event as well. So that's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then we have a Pirates Happy Hour and live music from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So, again, the way the schedule has been structured, it's structured in a way that we still offer activities for everybody. Okay. You know, for children, for families, and for adults. Okay. For the after party, or the fireworks, I should say, is 9 p.m. until 9:15. And then there's an after party at the captain's table at 9:15 onwards. So that's the lineup for the BRAC.
And where are the fireworks actually taking place?
At the Alexander Hotel.
At the Alexander Hotel.
Yes, yeah, okay. At the Alexander Hotel. And want to say a big thank you to the Alexander Hotel, because initially there was nothing scheduled for Cayman BRAC. Okay. Cayman BRAC is rebuilding, and I'm hoping that they will have a committee for next year. But this year there's no committee, so we decided no event for Cayman BRAC, unfortunately. And we received a call from, or not a call, but we met with the owner. I think he's the owner or co-owner, Nelson Dilbert, of the Alexander. And he asked, you know, listen, we want to do something for Cayman BRAC. Sure. Can you put us on the schedule? And here we are.
That's okay. All right, so that's this Saturday.
That's this Saturday, October 31st.
Okay, so 3-7, the Family Fun Day activities. 7 to 9, the happy hour. 9 to 11 was the fireworks?
9 to 9:15.
9 to 9:15, sorry.
Yes, is the fireworks. And then 9:15 to 12 a.m. is the pirate after party at Captain's Table.
At Captain's Table.
Yes.
All right, so full one-day set of activities.
One-day set of activities. It's usually a weekend, long festivity, but
of course.
Hey, I'll take a day.
No, I think many will.
Yes.
Better to have the one day rather than no day.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
And so before we get to the Grand Cayman events, what about Little Cayman now?
So Little Cayman is at the tail end of the festivities, and that is from the 13th to the 15th of November. And Little Cayman kicks off with the official kickoff party at McCoy's. And we have our opening fireworks from 11 p.m. And then we have on Saturday, we have the float parade at Hedo Bay. But before that, we're going to have a pirate invasion. So we're going to do a little mini landing for Little Cayman, which is really exciting. So
where are you doing the landing at?
There's a dock.
At Hedo Bay?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
So we're doing it from there, and then we're going to start the parade. And that's all happening around 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then 5:30, we head to the parade ends at Hungry Iguana, and that's where we do the costume competition.
You're doing the parade from Hedo Bay to Hungry Iguana? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So we do a costume competition right in the parking lot of Hungry Iguana, and then we do the fireworks, closing fireworks at 7 p.m. So Little Cayman has 2 fireworks displays. And then we do the Pirates Party starting from 7:10 until midnight, again at Hungry Iguana. And on Sunday, we do a Pirates Farewell Lunch for the Pirates. Tell them goodbye and see them next year. And that's happening at McCoy's Lodge.
At McCoy's?
Yes.
So the 15th is just the lunch?
Yes, 15th is just the lunch.
Saturday, all-day events. Friday night, again, was McCoy's. And then the fireworks.
And the fireworks.
At McCoy's as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So McCoy's is both for the start, and then Saturday again the parade is from Hedo Bay to the Iggy.
Yep, to Iggy.
And then you're doing the costume contest in the parking lot.
In the parking lot there.
In full Little Cayman style.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you're gonna flood the run.
And all.
You're gonna take over the runway, and I get it. Yeah, no, awesome.
Yes,
that's
it's my favorite festival of the 3.
I'm not sure you're allowed to say that. Are you?
Yes, I say it every year.
Okay, fair enough.
I say it every year, and I make no apologies.
You know,
I love Little Cayman and their spirit. The theme this year is community, and they truly have community spirit.
No, they do. I'm a big fan of Little Cayman, and everyone over there knows I'm a big fan of them as well. So it works. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll discuss the Grand Cayman festivities.
All right.
Back with more talk today, right after this.
JN money card. But when my land up a JN, me get the money card with them. Just show them your ID and give them your TRN. Go and use at the ATM or swipe instead then. And when you need more cash, and make your family send it in a flash. From abroad to card, get the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. JN Money Card only available and used in Jamaica. Call 345-945-2014 for details.
Welcome to Funkatang Shedden Road.
2 locations for your satisfaction.
Welcome to Funkatang Savannah. Is there anything we can assist you with? Is there anything we can assist you with?
If you are looking for electronics, musical instruments, small appliances, car stereos, dish network services, and home security systems.
Oh, that's easy. Funky Tanks.
Also, remember, they've got TVs in many sizes, from 20-inch up to 60-inch.
Mom, what are prices for this?
I know you can't afford it. Affordable.
Funky Tanks is your store and more. DVDs and CD players. A variety of headphones, iPads, Kindles, laptops, digital cameras, iPods, Xbox game machines, and Wii. Funky Tank.
In town, 949-0998. Or in Savannah, 943-0998.
Funky Tanks accept all major credit and debit cards for your convenience. They open late on weekends.
Come by Funky Tanks, Shedden Road and Savannah.
Huge savings at Funky Tanks through October 31st. Get your Amazon Fire Stick for $64.95. LG 65-inch TV for only $698.95. Samsung 32-inch TV, just $198.95. And Samsung 50-inch TV for only $498.95. Magnavox portable DVD players are $89.95 each. Sale items are too many to list, so you have to visit Funky Tanks and check them out for yourself. Funky Tanks, Shedden Road in Savannah.
Stay tuned.
Don't forget to tune in Monday through Friday for Radio Cayman's local evening sports report during the 6 p.m. news hour.
Taking a look at Radio Cayman's local sports, I'm Dion Anglin.
It is proudly brought to you by King Sports Center, providing your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
Nominations for round 12 of the Proud of Them award scheme opened on the 30th day of September and were scheduled to close on October 21st. Today, I am pleased to announce the extension of the nomination period until October 31st. I implore you all to use this excellent opportunity to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of some of the most extraordinary and talented youth within these Cayman Islands. Complete your nominations online using the new Youth Services Unit website at www.youthservices.ky. That is www.youthservices.ky. If you are not so inclined, then download a nomination form and submit the completed form by email to info.ysu@gov.ky. Help us to recognize excellence among youth in the Cayman Islands. Submit your nominations today. I thank you.
A message from the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and very pleased to have in studio Miss Melanie McField from the Pirates Week Festival.
Yes.
And we're discussing all the festivities coming this year. Despite everything that's happened in 2020, we're still having a festival, just a little bit more of a toned down event.
Right.
In order to abide by the 500-person capacity for events.
Mm-hmm.
Just to recap, we have the Cayman Brack festivities this coming Saturday, taking place from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Alexandria, with a happy hour event, fireworks, and then the after party at Captain's Table at 9:15.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Little Cayman, from November 13th to the 15th, capping off this year's festivities, will be the fireworks at McCoy's on the 13th, followed by the parade from Heddle Bay to the Hungry Iguana, and the costume contest, and then wrapping up with a Pirates lunch send-off on the 15th.
Correct.
Did I get that all right?
That's it. That's good.
All right.
And fireworks again on Saturday as well.
And fireworks again on the Saturday. We cannot forget there's 2 fireworks in Little Cayman this year.
2 fireworks.
But now to the Grand Cayman festivities, or the bigger part of this year's festival.
The bigger part of this year's festival.
Walk us through some of the changes that are happening and what we can see for this year.
So we've had, as I mentioned earlier, we've had to get quite creative. We have introduced some private events.
Okay.
We have ticketed events, and then we have events that are free of charge. And what we've done for our calendar of events, we've put a key on there so people know what's family friendly, they know what's private, they know what's ticketed, and they know what's virtual, because we also have a virtual event as well.
Really?
Yes. So let's start with the Thursday. The Thursday is the official kickoff of the Grand Cayman Festivities.
Okay.
And we're going to have our first event around 11 a.m. with the Sunrise Center. And we're doing a private surprise raid. I hope none of the clients are listening. For them at Cabana. And a big thank you to Luigi and Christina for opening up early for us to do the event at Cabanas just for the Sunrise Center. The way the raid is going to happen, I won't discuss that. So there will still be that surprise element. But that's taking place on Thursday. That's not on our calendar because it's a private event.
Fair enough.
But I did want to mention it so people know that we're doing, specialized or customized events as well. And again, simply because of the restriction on the numbers, the Sunrise Center team comes down every year to do the cardboard boat race, and they bring their clients, and they also watch the parade. So it's a big loss for them. So we got creative and said, hey, let's do something just for you guys. And
very tasteful. Okay.
Yes, and that will take place on Thursday.
Okay.
Also on Thursday, we have at 4 p.m., we have the Pirates Week Happy Hour at Hard Rock Cafe. And then we go straight into the official kickoff at the Wharf. And that's from 7 p.m. until 2 a.m. Now, the kickoff is where you come dressed. And, we want you dressed in full pirate gear from happy hour. But if you're not able to make happy hour and you come to the kickoff, please make sure you have on your pirate costume. This is where everyone is getting into that, very pirate character feel for the festival. Sure. And we're really looking forward to that being the first official event for the festival, the happy hour and the kickoff party. On Friday, we have a turtle release courtesy of the Cayman Turtle Center. And that turtle release is based on the primary school competition. And Cayman Turtle Center has created a competition just for elementary schools. I believe the competition is over now, so they're drawing the winners, and those winners will be announced next week. And that school will have the opportunity to come to this release along with some special invited guests and release the turtles.
Okay. What was the contest they were doing?
I think it was a naming contest.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes, and it was also through Experience Cayman. It's part of that initiative as well. Yes. So that takes place on Friday at 10 a.m. But it's also going to be aired through our Facebook page as well as through the Cayman Turtle Center's page. So that's where the virtual component comes in. So even if you didn't win as a school or you're not able to see or be there for the release, you can see it online.
Sure.
So we're still giving people access to view what's happening.
That's great.
Yes. And I think that's the first time we're doing that for the festival as well.
The virtual component.
Yes, the virtual component. And then for all the party animals, at 5 p.m. on Friday, we have our Friday night event. Now, we normally have a street dance on the Friday. This year we have a beach dance. So we put a little twist to it, and the venue is Coral Beach. But it's the same atmosphere. This, obviously not fireworks for obvious reasons. But we have a great entertainment, a great and energetic entertainment lineup with Rhythm Passe playing for the happy hour segment from 5 until 8. And then we have Jimmy the Boss Entertainment on his steel pan. And then we have the Neverines, which is a 5-piece live band, playing some light rock music. And then we have DJs for the rest of the night, DJ Monroe and Sound Revolution. So we have quite an exciting lineup for those who want to come out and shake a leg and just...
And that is a ticketed event?
That's a ticketed event, okay. Correct. And all of our ticketed events can be found on eventpro.ky.
Okay.
So that's it for the Friday night. Then we move into Saturday. Saturday has a family fun day at the Cayman Turtle Center as well. And that is from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And then we have children's story time with the Pirates hosted at all of the district libraries. So if you want to go and have a read with the Pirates, interact with them, sing songs with them, you can do that from 11 a.m. at your local district library.
Okay.
And that's from 11 until 12. And then you can head to Cayman Turtle Center for their Family Fun Day.
Is the Family Fun Day at Turtle Center
Yes.
a free event?
No, it's not a free event. Sorry. That's ticketed.
That's
Correct.
a ticketed event.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's, yes, because you get to use all of their facilities. And yeah. So that's $15 for adults, I believe. And I think it's $10 for kids up to a certain age.
What time is the event at Cayman Turtle Center again now?
10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Correct. Okay. And the schedule can be found on our website.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the one I have isn't the most up to date that I'm reading off of, but I know the events in my head. So
that makes sense. I'll look at this. Going,
yes,
wait,
I know. I know
this.
you're looking at me like, but I don't see Turtle Center.
Where is this?
But it is on our website. Yeah.
And I think many people will appreciate that. With so many things up in the air, it's a very fluid scenario. Things are evolving, and hence why some of the schedules will be updated as they go along. So
exactly.
The best course of action is to actually stay in tune to the website.
Yes, stay in tune. That's the most updated information there, and our Facebook page as well, which is Cayman Islands Pirates Week. Okay. I've changed this schedule at least 78 times. So
since this morning.
So, yes, but what I'm speaking on now are all of the final events.
Sure.
Yes, everything has been finalized.
So then recap then, that's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Cayman Turtle Center on Saturday, November 7th.
Correct. Saturday, November 7th.
And that is another ticketed event.
That's another ticketed event.
Now, do they buy those tickets on Eventpro as well, or is that paid at the gate?
At the gate, at Cayman Turtle Center,
okay,
correct.
Great.
And the children's story time with the Pirates, that's a free event.
That's the libraries, okay.
Yes,
correct.
That's free of charge.
So that's all district libraries on Grand Cayman, not in Cayman Brac.
Correct.
In Grand Cayman.
Just in Grand, because we're speaking specifically about Grand Cayman now.
And so that's story time with the Pirates. Okay.
Yes.
Great. And that's 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on November 7th.
Correct.
Okay, doke.
And we're going to have the Poppy Show event on that night as well. So Poppy Show, we've entitled that event, Show Off Your Talents. And this encompasses two of our staple cultural events, which is the District Heritage Ambassador Costume Competition and the National Song Competition. So we've encompassed both events and entitled the event Poppy Show. But for those two events, we're encouraging designers of all ages to get creative, put together your costumes. We can find models to wear those costumes for you. Or you can wear them yourselves. That's fine. But, put on your artistic cap and be entered for a chance to win $1,000 cash.
And how do they enter into that contest?
They can email us at events@piratesweekfestival.com and we'll send them the registration form. Or again, piratesweekfestival.com. Everything is listed there.
Okay. Is there a cost to register?
Not for the costume competition.
Not for the costume competition.
It's free of charge to register.
Okay.
And you can, like I said, you can win $1,000 cash.
Is that open to all ages?
That's open to all ages this year.
So
absolutely.
a 5-year-old wants to put in his best costume.
His or her best costume. Sure. All ages, all genders.
But it's a culture-based costume.
It's a culture-based costume.
So we don't want 5-year-old wearing Big Bird. We want 5-year-old costume wearing Cayman cultural.
Yes. Cayman is the theme this year is community.
Okay.
And once you show an interest and you contact us, we will send you the judging criteria and the theme for this year, so you'll know what you're making your costume based around.
Sure.
Yeah. And for the song competition, now that is a $50 entry fee per song.
Per song?
Per song.
Okay.
So as a songwriter, you can enter as many songs as you like, but you have to get a different person to perform each of those songs.
Can you perform your own songs?
Oh, absolutely. You can perform your own songs.
But you can only
for sure.
perform one of your songs. You have to find someone else to perform the other songs.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you write 3 and you want to do 1, you have to find someone to do the other 2.
Okay.
Yes.
And prize for National Song Competition is what?
Is the first place prize is $3,000.
Okay.
Second is $2,000, and third place is $1,000.
Okay. And
so,
can you remind our listeners who won, just so we know who the competition is this year?
Yes.
Who won the past couple years?
Mikhail won last year. I think his stage name is The Matrix.
It is The Matrix. I was about to say, I'm not sure you can say his real name on the air.
I didn't say his last name. So
but yeah,
lots of Mikhails.
There are lots of Mikhails.
Yes.
Matrix, yep. Absolutely.
And second place was, who won second place last year? I don't remember. Third place was tied with Stuart Wilson and 2 of the most adorable little girls who unfortunately I can't remember their names right now, but But yeah, we had quite an interesting lineup. We had 14 contestants. Actually, we had 17 altogether, 14 of which made it to the finals. So we're hoping to get, as many this year.
Sure.
But yeah.
What's the youngest competitor you've had?
So that would have been the two young ladies last year. I think they were 9 and 10 or 8 and 9.
Okay.
Yeah, and they came in third.
That's great. What did they sing? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I can barely remember the last 5 minutes, Ray.
At least you're
honest. It's
a
lot of information.
At least you're honest, right?
Yes,
Some people will just wing it the entire way. And
no.
You're like, listen, 5 minutes ago, was I even here?
Yes. I don't remember the title of their song, but they had their own little choreography going.
Yeah.
They were so adorable.
What's the deadline? I can work it for myself.
Right.
What's the deadline for them to register?
So the deadline for registration is tomorrow.
Okay.
We're hoping that we'll get sufficient entries by tomorrow, but we may extend that to Monday, but we won't know that until tomorrow.
Okay.
Because obviously we need time to put the music together and just get everything planned in time for Saturday.
Okay. And the National Song Competition is a ticketed event as well.
Yes, that's a ticketed event. We have limited premium seating for $20.
Okay.
And then we have general admission for only $10 and for children $5. And that's all happening at the Harkwell Theater.
At the Harkwell.
Yes.
Okay.
And the gates open at 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and again, you can purchase online from eventpro.ky or you can purchase at the gate at the Harkwell.
On a side note on this one, do we ever see a time when we, just given everything that's happened, since we are seeing some virtual events, that some of these events might become streamed live in the future?
This event is actually being streamed live.
Oh, well, okay.
Yes.
On that note, then
Thank you for mentioning that.
My foot from
again.
My
head, don't remember.
I was looking for the V on
Cayman,
this.
Cayman. Oh, that's a good point. I'm actually going to add that on there. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. See, again, we're updating the schedule.
So I didn't have to really remove my foot from my mouth.
No, you didn't. So
great.
The Cayman Compass has come on board to stream this event for us.
Oh, great.
Thank you so much for reminding me of that.
For anybody out there that ever thinks that these interviews are scripted, this was the proof of the pudding that you need to know that these are not scripted interviews.
Nothing with me is scripted.
Live on the radio, we determined and figured out that this event actually is being streamed.
It is being live streamed.
So
You're
the sound
absolutely
competition on Saturday, November 7th, if you can, now obviously sound quality, we always want to be in person, but for this one, just given capacity, seating, etc., it's great to know that the community can still partake in the song competition and see their local artists perform. On that note, we do have one caller on the line.
Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, caller. Thank you for calling Talk Today.
Yeah, according to the song contest, I wonder, what did you restrict that to CI-sensitive subjects?
So the question was, for the song competition, are the songs limited to Cayman Islands based topics?
Yes. We keep them. We try to keep everything based around the current theme, which is community.
Okay, community. Okay.
Yes, which is community, and of course the type of music as well. We want to keep that Caribbean based.
Okay.
So. Well, how do you describe Caribbean based?
Well, we have a range of genres, including calypso, soca, reggae, some Latin, but in other words, no hip hop, no rap. We don't mind a fusion of a Caribbean genre.
Sure.
With, say, I've heard soca and country combined.
It's a great combination. To be very fair.
And calypso and EDM combined, but it's still that fusion. So. Yeah.
That's great. Colin, thank you. Did you have any other questions?
Yeah, are you going to make these, I guess you have to call them these days, files available to the public?
The file, as far as the music
As in
files?
the music?
Yes.
Oh, we would love to. We would love to have them available. And obviously we would have to get the permission of the musicians to do so. But I do believe we have sent... I can't remember if we sent it to Radio Cayman, but we have passed on the music in the past.
You passed up Radio Cayman?
No, we did not pass up Radio Cayman. I just can't remember if we sent it to Radio Cayman.
And then we'll also, as Miss Mel said, that the event will also be streamed.
Yes,
live for the community to actually tune in to watch it. And that's being streamed where now? again?
From the Hartwell Theatre through the Compass, Cayman Compass,
the Cayman
Compass
So,
Media.
so there is a function then at the Hartwell Theatre to judge these?
Absolutely. So it's an actual event occurring at the Hartwell, and it's open to the public to attend.
Do you have a standard band backing these folks? Or are they all
No, they're all pre-recorded. So we will have a DJ playing the back end music for them.
Caller, we do have to let you go there. We have a few more points to get through with Miss Mel before our 1 p.m. headline news. Thank you so much. All right, Mel. So we have jumping back there, some great questions there though about the event itself, because
that's one of the events that we get most of the questions from. So I'm glad the caller called and asked about that.
Especially with this year being such an evolving year with the event changing quite drastically. We want to make sure the community is fully aware of.
And just want to also point out that it's open to Caymanians and permanent residents as well, because that's a question we get quite frequently.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
That's good to know. And then, so again, the music taste has to be either a fusion, but at the end of the day, some Caribbean-based music theme.
Correct.
All right, so
we don't want to be too restrictive, because then we won't get a lot of people entering.
Well, no, I mean, absolutely. I actually would not mind seeing the country soca fusion that you mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I can see the eye roll coming from across the way going, what?
Yeah. I'm working on my lyrics as we speak.
Listen, are you performing?
No.
This is not a scripted interview. I could throw you under the bus right now.
Yes, you can.
All right, so Sunday, November 8th.
So Sunday we have the Pirates Against Plastic Beach Cleanup.
Yep.
And that's happening on the South Sound Community Center. So the South Sound Beach, and that's hosted by Plastic Free Cayman, another family-friendly event.
Okay.
And that's 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. Then we go to the underwater treasure hunt at Sunset House for those diving enthusiasts. And that's 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. And then for the, those that are interested in the whole beach scene and party and boat scene, we have the Flotilla, Party Boat and Flotilla, Pirate Sweet Flotilla and Party Boat Cruise, starting from Georgetown Yacht Club. So this is the first time we're putting on an event of this nature. We can't do a parade on land, so we're taking it to the sea. And just like how we have the Pirate Sweet float leading all of the floats during the day parade, this boat is our lead pirate boat that's leading the flotilla with all of the other boats.
Okay.
So it's the same concept, it's just with boats on the water, right?
And just to clarify, because the parade typically is a family-friendly event, is this boat parade a family-friendly styled event?
Well, the party boat is for adults.
So the lead boat is
the
an
lead
adult.
boat is for adults,
Right.
but you can be behind that boat with your family and your own private vessel.
Okay.
And we like to say, bring your own boat, BYOB. So, and that's also a ticketed. So it's a ticketed event, but it's also free for those that are entering the flotilla with their own vessel. And we're also giving them flags and Pirate Suite T-shirts for those that are interested in joining the flotilla.
Sure.
And Monday we have our Find the Booty Island-wide scavenger hunt, and you can win $4,000 cash for that event. It's a team of 4, and it's only $100 registration for that team of 4 in one vehicle. And we have some fantastic clues for people to sift through while they're discovering discovering Grand Cayman and learning about the island, right? And then we end with the Trial of the Pirates at Sandbar, 5 p.m. on the Monday, and that goes till 12 a.m. And then Tuesday we have Movies on the Lawn at Pedro St. James, family-friendly, free event. And on Wednesday we do Meals on Wheels pirate deliveries, where the pirates are delivering meals to the Meals on Wheels clients.
To Meals on Wheels clients.
Yep, and that ends the Grand Cayman festivities.
Okay, so the last event actually is the Meals on Wheels
yes,
delivery.
Yes, is the Meals on Wheels, correct.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, so you definitely still have quite a few activities that are...
And a lot of what we're doing is very community-based as well. Hence the community.
No, absolutely.
Yes.
Which is great. I mean, I think on behalf of the entire community, even though we're not seeing the full scope of Pirates Week, given what we've experienced thus far this year, I think we could all be very grateful that the events are happening as they are. You've laid them out quite nicely.
Yes.
And some of them are virtual in the spirit of 2020. We're going to see some of this online. And that's fantastic. Now, if anybody wants any more information on the Pirates Week event or to sign up for any of these contests, how can they get in touch with you?
PiratesWeekFestival.com is our website. And also email us on events@piratesweekfestival.com. We also have our Facebook page, Cayman Islands Pirates Week Festival, and our Instagram page, Pirates Week Cayman.
Great. And again, keep abreast of the website as changes if new events come on board or if any events should happen to have any changes. Do keep an eye on that website.
Definitely.
Mel, thank you so much again for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Ray.
It's a pleasure. On that note, we're going to go to our quick commercial break and 1 p.m. headline news. When we come back, we'll be meeting with the all-female Rotarian presidential cast here in Cayman. Back with more talk today right after this.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Digital is not a buzzword, it is a culture. At Digicel, we've made it our mission to enrich your digital lives. That's why we're bringing together more of all the experiences you love. The latest shows, the best of local and international music and radio, live sports, cloud storage, breaking news, HD video chats, and more. Welcome to Digital at Digicel, the Caribbean's fastest mobile network. Digicel, better together.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19 and get ready for the hurricane season, it is important to also protect our environment, which ultimately helps us live healthier, happier lives. Let's always remember proper disposal of masks and other PPE, as with your normal garbage, avoid littering, and do not include any trash in your recycling. Protect yourselves and keep our islands clean. For full guidance, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Just before 12:15 a.m. today, police and other emergency services were dispatched by the 911 Communication Center to a single vehicle collision in the vicinity of Tibbetts Turn and Watering Place on Cayman Brac. The collision involved a white Honda CR-V and a light pole, resulting in damaged power lines and island-wide power outage for about 3 hours. One man was injured as a result of the collision and was transported to the Faith Hospital for treatment. He is believed to have serious but non-life-threatening injuries and is considered to be in stable condition. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. 3 people have died in a knife attack at a church in Nice in what French President Emmanuel Macron said was an Islamist terrorist attack. He said France would not surrender its core values after visiting the Notre Dame Basilica in the southern city. Thousands of troops are being deployed to protect churches and schools. And Americans born in Jerusalem can declare Israel as their country of birth in U.S. passports, the Trump administration says, in a reversal of U.S. policy. Before now, Jerusalem was identified without a country because of its contentious status as Israel's self-declared capital. The latest move further cements Donald Trump's 2017 recognition of Israeli sovereignty over the entire city. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
King Sports Center takes pride in being more than just an ordinary gymnasium. For 14 years, their multi-purpose facility has been providing the community with a variety of sporting, recreational, and relaxation activities. King Sports Center has a bowling alley, lounge bar, multi-purpose rooms, powerhouse gym, rock climbing wall, bungee jumping, a 10,000 square foot rink, and so much more. For more information on the variety of services, call their friendly staff today at 946-5464 or email kings@candw.ky or visit www.kingsportscenter.com. King Sports Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Nominations are now open for the 2021 National Heroes Day Awards for Seafaring Heritage. Nomination forms are available from the Ministry of Health, Environment, Culture and Housing, Government Administration Building in Georgetown, Grand Cayman, the Cayman Islands Seafarers Association in Prospect, Grand Cayman, the District Administration, Government Administration Building in Cayman Brac, and online at celebratecayman.ky, the Ministry of Health.gov.ky. Deadline for submissions is Saturday, 31st October 2020. Only completed nominations received by the deadline will be considered.
Nominations for round 12 of the Proud of Them award scheme opened on the 30th day of September and were scheduled to close on October 21st. Today, I am pleased to announce the extension of the nomination period until October 31st. I implore you all to use this excellent opportunity to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of some of the most extraordinary and talented youth within these Cayman Islands. Complete your nominations online using the new Youth Services Unit website at www.youthservices.ky. That is www.youthservices.ky. If you are not so inclined, then download a nomination form and submit the completed form by email to info.ysu@gov.ky. Help us to recognize excellence among youth in the Cayman Islands. Submit your nominations today. I thank you.
A message from the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and very pleased now to have in studio 3 of our 4 guests here representing the various Rotary clubs here in Cayman. We have in studio Miss Courtney Michelle, President of Rotaract Grand Cayman, Miss Stacy Park, President of Rotary Sunrise Cayman Islands, and Miss Alana Rose Warwick Smith, President of Rotaract Blue. Good afternoon, ladies, and welcome to Talk Today.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Now, we will be joined shortly by Miss Jonay Moss, President of Rotary Central Cayman Islands, and unfortunately not able to make today's show is Miss Gina McBrien, President of the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. So a very special moment here in which all 5 clubs as part of the Rotary family are being led by female presidents. And on that note, I did want to briefly mention that the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, and the Kiwanis Club of the Cayman Islands are also led by female presidents as well. So we're seeing a very uniform platform here of female presidents, and election year in the U.S., election year coming up here in Cayman. There's a lot of politics, so to speak, floating around the globe. But just to kick off our show, what we've been doing over the past few months since we've come back on air from the COVID lockdown was trying to really get to know all of our guests and how they experienced the 2020 experience of, as we described in the previous segment, of someone dumping a handbag upside down and flipping the world on its end. So if you don't mind, we'll start with you, Miss Courtney. How did you experience the 2020?
Where to begin?
Where to begin? Fair question.
It was one day we were planning for an event, finalizing just different small details. And then it was, no, the country's locked down, everything is canceled, cancel all the meetings, cancel the events. And it literally threw you a little bit. At the time, I was president-elect because our year starts in July. So it also became very daunting because you're thinking, well, how long is this going to last? Your year is coming up. All of my plans, what happens next? Just on a personal note, for a while, it was okay being inside, but the novelty faded fast, and I had some difficulty coping for a short period. But, I was really happy with how our leadership dealt with the lockdown process, and, it's led us to where we are today. Absolutely. And honestly, our club adapted very well to the lockdown. We immediately moved meetings online. We moved some social events online, and it had its ups and downs.
Now, when you say the novelty faded very quickly, how long was that novelty period?
Honestly, about 2 weeks.
Okay, I thought you were saying like 2 days, but okay. No. You made it 2 weeks.
Once the holidays hit, you're thinking, okay, I was supposed to travel. I was supposed to do
that
this.
That was just it, right?
Yeah, because I had a big birthday trip coming up personally. I was like, oh my gosh. I don't like this.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, back in April.
Still a birthday year, right?
Yeah.
And as far as did you come out of the experience having picked up any new skills, any new found appreciations for anything?
Yes, being a lot more flexible and adaptable. That was my main thing that I learned, and having a change of routine. I think that really, some things you kind of question. Why did I do this before? Certain spending habits, things like that, and then those positive things came out, but. Definitely adjusting to any circumstance. I usually through it at times, but now trust me, keep a level head, you keep it cool, and you come right back out thinking, okay, well, this doesn't work. Absolutely. I know what's up next. So,
did you have any? Was there any coping mechanisms to get through? Was it a Netflix binging? Was it a book? Was it
all of the above?
All of the above.
Yes, talking to mom every day, Netflix, reading, everything.
Fair enough. We've had a diversity of answers when we've asked these questions. Some people picked up new culinary skills. Some people picked up. Were there those as well? See, there were. Okay, see, I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not an official baker. So
you're now an official baker.
Yes.
I'm glad you picked up skills. I just picked up some weight. That's what
I just picked up the weight. She made the food. You picked up the weight.
That's what
Fair
I
enough.
Yeah, but yes.
Baking. What now?
Cookies are my favorite right now. But yes, I find myself, I'm not an expert on chocolate chip cookies, but I can pretty much bake everything except cassava cake. I'm getting there.
Don't worry. I have no doubt Mr. Carl Brown's listening right now, so he will compliment that with the cassava cake.
Yes.
I have no doubt. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. I know it's a lot to probe into. Miss Alana, same series of questions to yourself. With regard to 2020, how did you find the lockdown experience, and how did you find coming out of it?
It's hard to kind of put it into summary, but it was just tough. I have to be really honest. It was tough, but it was such a time that it reminded, I think, all of us to lean on each other. And to President Courtney's point, we were all president-elects March onwards, and we really had the opportunity to lean on each other. We've all been in a group chat together since March. We kind of had the opportunity to lean on each other. Oh my God, are you going through this? Oh my God. And it was really it was an opportunity to build strong bonds and build goodwill and better friendships, like we say in Rotary. So it was really a pivotal time.
Build goodwill and friendships?
Better friendships.
And better friendships. And as far as any coping mechanisms, did you, was it Netflix, books? Clearly not the baking, was not.
It was not the baking. I actually started to exercise.
All right.
The whole, I don't do it anymore, but I did it in lockdown. I hope that matters, that counts for something.
It does. You're being very honest. I like that.
Yes. When we were only able to go within perimeters of our house, I was like, I guess we're going on a walk. And it was so fascinating. I was like, West Bay is small. Yeah. So that's what I picked up.
It's one of those scenarios, like you start recognizing all those little things, your habits that may not quite fit, how small West Bay might be. You start noticing the little things that we drive past on a regular day. All right, so exercise, was there any particular routine? Was it like an online routine you were following, or was it?
It was every routine. I just needed something to get through the day. I had schedules. Okay, we have to like change our outfit 4 times a day. It was a time. Don't tell Dr. Lee, President Stacy, but sometimes I was like, I gotta go like just walk through the supermarket, pick up a couple things.
Just to get moving, get out of the house, and, and cleanse your environment, so to speak.
Yeah.
And you like changing outfits 4 times a day with like work outfits, you mean? Or like going between like different,
you know, like you have an outfit for breakfast, then you have an outfit for lunch.
I'm so glad I asked the question.
Something to do.
I thought you meant like going from like workout outfit to maybe like a work attire.
Oh, that's
to
ambitious.
Bake, like cooking. But no, you were like, no, I need a mealtime attire for breakfast, and fantastic.
I rock pajamas the whole time.
See, there was the other answer. I was looking for someone to say, well, I never left my pajamas, and it was awesome. So, Stacey, same series of questions to you. How did you find the lockdown period and coming out of it?
It was interesting because initially you went into it thinking it's not going to be that long.
Sure.
Maybe, by summer I can still go to Hawaii because I had plans to go to the Rotary convention, which would have been in Hawaii, and that was on my bucket list. So I was all excited, and I had a San Francisco trip planned for right after with some girlfriends. And I said, okay, March, by June we're fine. And then reality started, slowly creeping in and realizing that this is going to last much longer than. So it went in stages, how I coped. The difficulty that I think we all had is that you get excited about being president, and you're going to be president from the year before, or in Rotary cases, in February. But for Rotary, we know in October, the year before, that we're going to be president. And you know that, let's say, the convention is coming up in June and the conference in May. So we had BVI plans, etc., and then you had to change that and adjust. And as President Alana said, I think one of the good things that came out of this and coping with all the varying emotions that we went through, besides the disappointment of not going and meeting the international group, we got closer together and bonded on the issues that we were having in terms of transitioning to online meetings, raising funds still for the community online and how to do that, how to help our community and the international community still in this situation, because as you probably realize that there were people in our community who had needs. So it was adjusting really quickly, and as President Alana said, adjusting and adapting, I think, was a major thing that I think we came out of this. And I think with my club, with the help of P.E. Robert, we were able to start getting funds online because we had an online paying system, etc. And so the raffles and the fundraising didn't miss a beat. I continued working throughout the lockdown, so I didn't have the pleasure of walking around in my my pajamas right through, the majority of the time. And it's not shade. Hey, I wish I could have done that, but it
was total shade. We all felt it.
I didn't have the pleasure. I wish I could. Listen to me. And but the thing about it is, you grow. And you learn a lot about yourself, particularly if you are a single person, or even if you're living with someone or in a family. Being in that close proximity for all that period of time, you learn something more about yourself. And so it was interesting.
All right. And as far as any kind of coping mechanisms, especially because you have the up and down of Hawaii, yes, Hawaii, no. San Francisco, no.
Right.
No.
Exactly. A lot of no's. And actually, funny, this weekend I was supposed to be in the Bahamas. So, again, no. Right? But how I coped it, we had, so the group that I was supposed to be with in San Francisco, for example, we started a Friday happy hour online. And so we would join 7 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock their time. My friends in Canada, New Jersey, and California get together. We talk for 2-3 hours and just, cheers, drink, laugh, and feel normal for a little bit. Once things started easing, like President Alana said, taking that extra walk. And you know what I realized? Sometimes you went to the grocery just for going to the grocery's sake. Not that you wanted anything, that was one of the things that we could have done.
Something to
So
do.
sorry,
Right.
Dr. Lee, honestly.
And so the COVID-19 weight came on. And it's still on, and we're trying. I'm trying to get it off.
We've had others say the COVID-19 was not just 19; it was 19 pounds.
Yeah.
That followed it along, right?
Well, that's a good one, Stacey. Yeah, because we actually started doing watch parties with my friends too. We pick some. I won't even give you the examples of shows, but we just pick something very crazy, and once a week at least we say, okay, we're on. Everybody have their glasses, and we're doing commentary.
You know, one time, and that is where I got the idea for the magician that we had. One of the happy hours, we had an online magician come to us from Canada. So he zoomed in, and he was doing his card tricks with my friends online, and we were like, because we had a party that Friday. And, you know, you realize that it's not as bad as it can be. You know, particularly in Cayman, we are blessed to be in a particular situation where even during the lockdown, because of the quick action of our government and Rotarian John Lee, who is on Sunrise.
No shade again.
No, look at that.
Humble brag, yeah.
Humble brag, that's a humble brag. And also Dr. Jefferson and Dawn Cummings. And, I mean, basically all of you should say. So Hazel Brown, you know, women. So Dawn and Hazel, both chartered members at Sunrise, played pivotal roles in the COVID-19.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. Said, it's interesting how everyone's had their different ways of getting through, and the online magician's the new one.
Yes.
That's what the happy hour online magician.
Yeah.
It's everyone tuning in. And was the magician a friend of someone's?
He was a friend of my friend in Canada.
Fair enough. So that's how the connection was made. Fair enough. And Miss President Jonay.
Hi.
Welcome to Talk Today.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're right. So let me introduce you as well. This is President Jonay from Rotary Central, Cayman Islands.
Yes.
Now, we've been asking everyone just kind of introduce everyone to the show and to our listeners how they experienced the COVID-19 experience. I described it earlier as dumping your handbag upside down. That was the way the world went through for the past 9 months. How did you come through it, and did you come through it fully intact?
I'm here, so yeah.
Oh, hey, fair enough.
I did, yeah. No, it was definitely a roller coaster for me.
Sure.
Initially, it was about fear. I didn't know what would happen in terms of, you know, health and safety of people here in the Cayman Islands, people back home. I'm from the Bahamas, so you were supposed to be in Bahamas, and I'm from Bahamas.
Oh, okay.
The health and safety of my family. And so at first it started off with fear. But after a few weeks, you know, knowing that my family was safe, they were taking precautions, that here in Cayman we were safe, it turned into, okay, you know, when can I get out of this cage, which is not only my house, but my office, because I did work in my pajamas, President Stacey, which, I mean, was good most times, except for those business calls where you had to put a blazer jacket over your PJs. And not forget not to stand up for any reason. So, yeah, no, I mean, but yeah, it was a roller coaster. Fear, boredom, excitement, because you got to try new things. Like Stacey talked about the online magician. Courtney talked about, online watch parties. We did so many creative things.
Baking cookies as well.
Oh, you baked cookies? And I didn't get any cookies?
Quarantine.
We were locked down. Yeah, we were locked down.
And exercise was the other one. And why I'm realizing how
well,
small
mine was not exercise. I usually have a personal trainer, because if I don't, I don't make it to the gym. And because of lockdown, there was no trainer to be had. So I sat and I didn't bake cookies, but I ate cookies for sure. And so, yeah, like you talked about the COVID-19. Yeah, COVID-19 was definitely, COVID-19 pounds was definitely it for me over here.
All right. So working in PJs, was there any other coping mechanisms that really helped you kind of get through the cage?
Yeah, I'm a real podcast listener. So yeah, that just listening to what the world was going through, and how blessed we were in the Cayman Islands to not be going through what was going on. I think that was helpful also for entertainment purposes. Understanding how the world was changing so much, and how people were moving more to online sources of entertainment, and also business. Was something that I tapped into, even myself, to look at how I can, hop online from a business standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of coping, I said once I got over that initial fear, really of health and safety. After that, it really became, how can we use this pandemic, this current situation to our advantage? And I spent a lot of time researching. I think that's how I got through.
All right, so just doing the online, like...
online
Google
researching,
searches.
Google searches, books I've had in my bookshelf for a long time that I said I would read and then didn't get to read. Started reading, but then still some of them I didn't finish. Had no excuse not to finish because I had nowhere to go. But
the books weren't that engaging, right?
They were actually good. They were meaty books. I got from it what I needed, I'm sure.
Fair enough. Yeah. And then as far as the podcast, any kind of motivational podcast in there?
For sure. And I'm a TEDx talk.
TEDx, okay.
Oh my goodness.
They're great.
Yeah, they're really great. So those were inspirational for me. I did the YouTube rabbit hole, so I started from one thing to the next and can't really recall everything. Sure. But it was all about motivation and using what you think is a setback as a setup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any kind of keynote motivational speakers that stick out in your mind?
For me, Lisa Nichols.
Okay.
Her name?
Yes.
Yeah, she actually just got engaged to someone from the Bahamas, in fact.
There you go.
She does some training with a friend of mine back there. But yeah, just seeing her story of the get up, fall down, get back up, I mean, was really, really powerful. Don't laugh at me, but I'm still a Tony Robbins type of girl. I listened to that as well. Les Brown, all of the big names.
Yeah.
But YouTube really points me to some names that aren't well known, and didn't write them down, so I don't have them. But the YouTube rabbit hole, to me, other than the big names, was also beneficial because you had real people who were just going into this type of motivational speaking business, and you saw the passion that they had for it, and so it kind of inspired me to see if I wanted to go down that train as well. So something's coming in the works, you guys.
Something's coming in the works.
Yes.
Future motivational speaker.
Yes.
All right. That's not too bad. Now, have you got back into the gym routine? Because we lost the gym routine.
Gone
on this side.
Gone a lot.
Not coming back.
Came during the COVID lockdown, went after COVID lockdown.
Came and left with masks.
With masks. And how about yourself? Did you get back into it?
Yes. So the minute the gym opened up, I got my call and I went reluctantly. So the first time we went, I did very, very light work. Very light work. I barely lift my feet off the ground because I didn't have the energy. But now I'm definitely fully back into the swing.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to actually really delve into your past 9 months. It just gives a bit of color for our listeners at home to who you are. So obviously today's show is about featuring you as a collective of female presidents for the Rotary families. And as you mentioned previously in the show, the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, and Kiwanis all equally also have female presidents leading their organizations. So we're seeing a quote-unquote change of the guard, so to speak, across these service industries, or service clubs rather. So as far as your individual stories and journeys through whether it was joining your individual Rotary Club or why you may have joined the Rotary Club and what you found important about joining it, if we can start with you, Courtney.
All right.
And we'll circle right back around the table.
Okay, not a problem. So I actually was an interactor, which is pretty much a Rotarian at the teenage level.
Okay.
So I was actually involved in community service back in high school, back in Jamaica. Shout out to Immaculate. That's where my community service journey started. Okay. I was very involved. I enjoyed it. The service projects were great. The fellowships were great. Back then we would say socials, but now that you're a Rotary actor, it's fellowship as you take on the lingo as you move up. So I started there after I left high school, got to university. I guess that was the phase where you're trying everything out. So I never really got into Rotaract in university because I also didn't know that this young adult portion of it existed. Because we knew about Rotary back then, but we said, okay, well, yeah, I'll join Rotary when I grow up eventually, whenever that is. And, you kind of forgot about it. So a former colleague of mine had moved to the Cayman Islands. And when I actually was moving here, he said, listen, as soon as you get here, you go to the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. Those are my people. Those will be your people. They're good people, and you're going to love it. And I said, okay, yeah, sure. We actually were on a work conference together in the Bahamas, and we visited a Rotary Club there. And I just sat in that meeting feeling so inspired because they had a guest speaker. She was talking about, she's the principal for a school for girls who are pregnant, and they had to take them out of the school system to kind of, to isolate them a little bit because, it's a lot of social issues there. And as she spoke about it, I kept thinking, how do I find out about more people like this? How do I help people like this? Because she spoke about the needs of the school, some of the funding that they get, and, they try to do as best as they can, but they always need help. And, I sat thinking the president at the time for that Rotary Club, she was talking about, them putting together a fundraiser and, for the school. And I just kept sitting there thinking, you know what? I realized what is missing. I'm not doing community service. So all that time that, from, I left high school, gone through university, started my first job, I haven't really gotten involved. I'd always give to charities and things like that, but I was never actively involved. And it was in that moment, I haven't had an epiphany like that in a long time. So I sat there thinking, I need to get back into community service. It's missing. So that same year was when I got through and I came to Cayman January 2018. And I landed on the 4th, which was a Thursday. And my friend like I said, my friend said to me, these are your people. And he gave me a contact for one of his friends. And a peer said, okay, I'm going to take you to a Rotary meeting. In fact, the first Rotary meeting I went to on island was Rotary Central, which is Johnny's club. But so I went there and I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. And then he said, so our club meets 7 a.m. on Thursday at Greenhouse. And I said, okay, I don't know where that is. And he said, don't worry, I'll send you the pin and so on. And literally from that first meeting until now, I've had almost perfect attendance. I must say, I've hardly missed anything. Past President Patrian and Rebecca and Joel can probably vouch for me about my attendance, but I just felt so excited about being part of Rotaract and Rotary and getting to know what the family was about. And to be honest, my transition in moving to Cayman would not have been the same without it. I figured I'd just be going to work, meeting friends at work, maybe meeting some friends socially, but being a part of this community helped me to embrace and engage more in the Cayman Islands community. And I thought, okay, I would not trade this for anything. And for some reason, I guess my dedication, people felt inspired and they elected me to be their president this year. And I was like, shout out to my peeps, Rotary Club of Grand Cayman.
That's a great story,
best club in the world.
That's a great story, though. The epiphany moment coming from Bahamas Conference and just that unique epiphany moment, whatever spoke to you, that divine moment. And here you are. How many years ago was that now?
That happened, that was April 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so 3 years later, you're actually sitting here as the president of a club here in Grand Cayman. That's a fantastic story. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll ask President Alana the exact same question. Back with more talk today right after this.
CUC is going virtual. We have the same awesome team ready to provide you with excellent service.
We managed to implement technology right before the lockdown that allowed our reps to work from home and still deliver that exact same level of service.
Our priority will always be to provide our customers with the high quality of service to which you've grown accustomed. Visit our website at www.cuc-cayman.com or reach out to us at service@cuc.ky. We are here to serve you.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens will be hosting a breast cancer awareness meeting tonight at 7 at the Lions Community Center. Applications can be made at the meeting by women who meet the established criteria to receive a voucher for free mammogram screening. There'll be a panel discussion featuring Dr. Robinson and Dr. Armones from the Doctors Hospital, along with a breast cancer survivor. Don't forget, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens will be hosting a breast cancer awareness meeting tonight, 7 o'clock, at the Lions Community Center.
Hi, this is Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands. We're about to enter the height of the hurricane season, and given that we've already seen a significant amount of activity in the Atlantic this year, we're really asking the public to get ready for the next few months. Some tips of getting ready: be informed and know your risks associated with the high winds as well as storm surge. Find out how high your home is above the sea level and the flooding history. If you have any new buildings or roads that have been constructed near you, this could impact levels of flooding that you may not have previously experienced. Determine where you, your family and your pets will shelter in a storm. Know where the public shelters are, and if you have medical needs, be sure to go to a shelter that is a designated emergency medical centre. Make sure your home, car and property insurance, as well as your passports and other important documents, are up to date and that you have copies and photographs in a secure and dry location. If you have a boat, please decide now where and how you'll secure it. Check your hurricane shutters, and if you don't have them, consider purchasing plywood. Stock up on hurricane supplies, non-perishable items including prescribed medication and personal sanitation items. And for more information, please visit our website at www.caymanprepared.ky. Be informed, make a plan, be prepared and stay safe, Cayman.
Your Radio Cayman 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit www.caymannational.com for up-to-date information for all your financial needs and follow us on social media.
Registration is ongoing for the Department of Tourism Pride webinars. The tourism industry is ever evolving. Stay up to date with the industry standards, best practices, and ensure you are the best ambassador for Cayman. The Pride webinars offer customer service, business acumen, history, and cultural classes. Webinars will run on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. To see the full schedule and register, visit pride.ourcayman.ky.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and very pleased to have in studio a roundtable with 4 of the 5 clubs being led by female presidents who are joining us today in studio. Missing, unfortunately, is Miss Gina McBrien, the president of Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. But in studio with us right now, we have President Jonae Moss of Rotary Central Cayman Islands, President Courtney Michelle of Rotaract Grand Cayman, President Stacy Park of Rotary Sunrise Cayman Islands, and President Alana Rose Warwick Smith, president of Rotaract Blue. And before the break, we were briefly discussing each president's journeys to their point of one joining their Rotary organization and becoming president. So President Alana, back to you.
My story was honestly a little bit unconventional because I will be very honest, I started in Key Club, which is under Kiwanis. So I had never heard of Interact, I'd never heard of Rotaract, but I have to give kudos to Kiwanis because they really do a great job in instilling the sense of service in young people. So I always kind of had that in me. And I would participate in different things. When I was 12, I spent 2 years volunteering at the Humane Society Book Loft. That was my little side job. Every Saturday I would go and I would sit and take money, and that was really how it started for me. And I would do little one-off jobs, little volunteering things. And one day, 10 years later, my cousin came to me and she said, "Why don't you join Rotaract?" And I was like, "Oh, well, what would Rotaract be any different? I'm finding these opportunities on my own. I don't need to join a club like I like to." And she was like, "No, you're going to join a community." And I went, and I still wasn't sure. So I went to a meeting and I was like, "No, this isn't for me. Sorry." That was October 2017. In January, she tried again, and she was like, "I really want you to come. I really think this is for you. I really think this is for you." I went to a meeting, came back, and I was like, this isn't for me. Stop inviting me. I was like, I don't. And I had this stuck in my mind that I was okay on my own, that I didn't need a community, and I think it was because I was scared of that genuine connection. And she tried one more time in March, and that was it for me. And I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So I went through my induction process, and I was inducted July 2018. And yeah, here we are.
So third time was the charm on.
Third time was the charm.
Getting involved, huh?
Yeah.
And so what was the difference at the third meeting versus the prior two?
I think it was because I had been going to meetings, and my third try was at a fellowship. It was a social, and I got the opportunity to see these people just like interacting and having genuine bonds, and none of them were related, and none of them knew each other outside of work, but they were all, you could just see the connection that they had built with each other, and I'd never had that. I have always had a hard time making friends. I've always struggled with that side of my life, and to see that, I was like, wow, like I can join something like this. That's so amazing. And that's kind of what did it for me.
And as far as how did it feel to leave the Kiwanis or the Key Club element? Was there any kind of heart?
I still love them. I went to a meeting like 6 months ago before lockdown. I need to go visit again.
All right. So there wasn't any hard feelings on the transition over?
No.
All right. No fights broke out. No one said, hey, get back over here. No. Thank you for sharing. President Stacy, so the same question to yourself as far as your journey to the community service realm and into the Rotary families. What was that like?
It was interesting. I think service has always been part of me. Growing up, I think, with your grandparents, they kind of drag you along to events, and first it starts at church events, etc. But then you start realizing that if you are in a position to help or make a difference, you should. Right? And that was instilled from a young age. So I am Trinidadian, and I moved here, I think, in 2003. Part of moving, when I moved here, I wanted to be back involved in the community in the same way like I was in Trinidad, because in Trinidad I was in Rotary for a short stint just before I came to.
She has never told us this.
You never asked me. No, but
moment on Talk
I
Today
tell
live
you,
on the radio.
Rotary for Spain. I still have my pin. Yes, I found it in my jewelry the other day. I'll show it to you.
I got friends in that club.
Really? So that's how I initially got exposed to Rotary, but through Rotaract. So moved along, went to Barbados, studied, etc. Came up, and I finished, worked in Trinidad, and then I moved here in 2003. Then maybe 2004, 5, I was on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it was making a really good impact on the littles, and I saw what that was doing for the community, but I think I wanted more. And the executive director on the board of Big Brothers Big Sisters was an honorary member of Rotary Sunrise. And she said to me, why don't you come to a meeting and, check it out, it'd be interesting. And they were meeting at Grand Old House at that time, and I went to a few meetings, sit back, just look, see what they're doing. I think like President Alana, when you see them, the members, outside of a meeting, because the meeting is very structured. Some is an hour, it goes fast. In our club, there's little time for fellowship. You either come before and talk, because we're a morning club. So 7 o'clock, by 8 o'clock, we're out the door heading to work. The fellowships is where you get to know people, and that's exactly what happened for me. Once you go to a fellowship or a community-based event, so a project, a park cleanup or a beach cleanup or some sort of book fundraiser, you realize who you're dealing with. You meet people, and it's the bonds that you form with the members that draws you back. The great thing about my journey, I think everybody here, is that each club is different, but you can find that club that suits you, that has that main point that in the community. So for us, literacy is a big push. We try to do life. We support life, literacy for everyone, and raise funds and giving back to any project dealing with literacy. Basic education is a big thing for us, and that is very important to me. Why? Because that is how you break the cycle and grow and become something. Sure. And I think in our community, so small, providing education for children and or the ability to read is amazing. So for me, that is how it started. So transition from Rotary, Big Brothers Big Sisters, then Rotary. Been in Rotary since 2011. Okay. Initially was thrown in as the community service director in my first year. Thrown in because the person who was supposed to be the community director had to leave on rollover and short notice. She didn't, something with immigration. Sure. And the past president Tony approached me and he said, I know you just came on board, but will you do this? Because you said you wanted to give back to the community, so here's the opportunity to lead the club and, lead the projects for the year. And so that's how it started.
Slight guilt treatment.
Yeah, so that's how it started. It's funny because, so I started off with that, and then I think since 2011, I've been an active member of not only the club, but I've been on the board at various levels. I probably took maybe 1 or 2 years of not being on the board, maybe 2, during that whole period of time from 2011 to now. And the whole idea of being a president-elect is almost like someone in learning and training. You get to see a different aspect of membership of Rotary, of everything, and you learn. So yeah, it was a good experience, and I'm enjoying. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought I would have said this in March, April, when the whole pandemic, and you realize what are we going to have for our year, but. You know what? The club has turned around, and it not turned around, but in terms of, let me put it this way, we have adapted and become so much more and realize our potential even more than when we were just meeting in person. I think it forced us to communicate with each other better. Sure. And we learned about ourselves, and we were able to do a lot for the community, and that's important to me.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing. It's been an interesting journey from Rotary and some newfound information that came out here. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or bad thing. But
it's a good thing.
All right. Maybe, I don't know. You don't know the inner politics of the different Rotary organizations.
No politics.
All right. So President Janae, exact same question to yourself.
All right, so I feel bad now. I thought Stacy was on my side, President Stacy, and not being in Rotary. So I'm the only one here at this table who was not involved in Rotary before I joined Rotary. But my journey was quite interesting. So I call myself a humanitarian at heart, simply because from I could remember myself, I was involved in giving back to the community. Like President Alana, for me, it was an individual type thing. I would do it. I would save my lunch money. I would, go out. I would call a friend and say, let's go here and do this. I never had a community. I never wanted a community. It wasn't about a community. It was just about giving back for me, because that really is who I am at heart. Until one day, it was, I can't remember which year it was, but I could remember the sun outside. I could remember me pulling up. I was driving at the time, so I know I was an adult. I went to a senior citizens home back home. This was before I moved to Cayman. And I had planned that I was going to, because I went there earlier, maybe a few weeks earlier with my job. So I definitely was working adult. And I noticed some things were wrong with, well, let's not say wrong. Some things could be improved with the home itself. So I went back being who I was, and I said, you know what? Sir, Mr. Owner of this place, I am willing to assist in these upgrades. And he was like, upgrades? My place doesn't need any upgrades.
Ouch.
What are you talking about, upgrades? Security! And I was actually escorted by the security off the premises, kicked out of the senior citizens home. And that crushed me. And that's when I realized, hey, maybe you don't know how to do this all by yourself. Maybe you do need a community. And so when I moved, shortly after that, actually now I remember, that was about 2013. Because I remember the job that I was at that went there a few weeks earlier. When I moved to Cayman in 2014, that was October 2014, October 25th, 2014, I remember my first time going to Kirk Supermarket. There was a lady outside selling music extravaganza tickets. As you know, our club does music extravaganza, which is coming up on the 28th of November. I mean, hey, I'm here.
There's nothing shameless about that plug.
I'm here at Salty's. Yeah, buy your tickets. You want to win $40,000. But that's exactly how I was introduced to Rotary. And I had some friends. They're laughing at me. It's okay.
There's no such thing as a shameless plug on this show. You got free reign.
Thank you. I should have worn my shirt. This is music extravaganza.
You should have tickets after.
Tickets.
You are on YouTube right now. You should hold a sign up.
Yes, if you need tickets, please visit our Facebook page, or you can contact me directly. But we'll talk about that after. Back to my story. So, yes, they were trying to sell me tickets. I didn't buy a ticket, actually. But I said, Rotary. I said, Rotary. Oh, my goodness. One of my coworkers was in Rotary. You guys do community service, don't you? And the lady said, yes, we do community service. I said, well, can you take me to a meeting? And so that was about maybe the 26th, 28th of October. And our next meeting was just a couple of days after on Tuesday, because that was a weekend. It was a Saturday when I saw her. And yeah, I never stopped going ever since that day. I'd never gone to any other clubs or anything. I just felt at home as the minute I walked in. And so I've been in the club now. I was officially inducted as a member in 2015, in June of 2015, in fact. Okay. And my first role was I was the chairperson for literacy in the club. So literacy is near and dear to me as well. And then I moved up to become, my first actual role on the board was secretary. Okay. I was thrown in there as well. Yeah. Secretary, and then I became the director of vocational services, which is the director responsible for literacy, again, which was my love. We did the Librarian Awards. We did so many things that year. So proud of what we did that year. And then after my stellar performance that year, I said, you know what, Janae, you can do this. Maybe you can try to be, VP. And that was my ceiling. I was like, you know what, push yourself. You can be VP of this club. And somebody asked me, well, what I thought about president. I laughed because there was no way I had what it took to be president in my mind.
In your mind.
It was just all about the service and all about the work. And then after talking about what impact I could have on the service and the work by being president, it started to become more of a realistic opportunity for me. Sure. And with a trembling voice, I said yes to presidency. And on the 27th, I think, of June, we had our ceremony where I was sworn in. And up until maybe 6 p.m. that day, I was planning to write a letter to the club telling them sorry, but no thanks. But I couldn't do that because the work of Rotary, the work of the community is just so important to me. It's so important to Cayman, and that's why I love that we have the slate of presidents we have this year. And every year we've had amazing presidents. Every year we can say, this president did this club did this, remarkable work.
Yep, absolutely.
This year, I'm glad that I have my friends actually with me because it's an unprecedented year. So I was already afraid to step up. And when I did step up and said, okay, it's for the work, things shut down. And I'm like, oh, goodness, what kind of test is this, oh, universe? But I have my friends with me, all of these ladies. Gina's not here, but all of them are strong ladies, and I'm so happy that I decided to take the call.
That's great. Thank you so much again for sharing it. We do have to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, a lot more questions for all four of you ladies. Back with more talk today right after this.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Maintaining a strong mind and body through sports and general healthy living is a good course of action. But what about your spiritual man, your inner man? He has to be awakened, fed, exercised, strengthened, and led according to the will of God. So, have you heard the call? I'm Evangelist Brother Joseph Joey Ebanks, and I'm inviting you to worship Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7:30. We are bringing the Word of God to our communities as Jesus commanded. Faith comes by hearing, so come and hear. Bring your own chair or simply park and listen to the Word of God from your vehicle, covering the Cayman Islands with the Word of God, one community at a time.
Have You Heard the Call will be in East End Little Hurley's site October 26th through October 29th, featuring Bishop Delbert Clark and Pastors George Williams and Daniel Williams.
Poppy Show! 2 competitions for the price of 1 at the Hartwell Theatre November 7th. Enjoy the dazzling District Heritage Ambassador Costume Spectacular and the National Song Competition. Tickets at eventpro.ky are $20 premium seating, $10 general admission, and $5 under 12s. Show them who is the Poppy Show on 7th November at the Hartwell Theatre. Gates open at 6:30 p.m. For more details on how to enter, please email events@piratesweekfestival.com. Sponsored by Cayman Distributors Group
and Radio Cayman. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic, your life connected.
Nominations for round 12 of the Proud of Them award scheme opened on the 30th day of September and were scheduled to close on October 21st. Today, I am pleased to announce the extension of the nomination period until October 31st. I implore you all to use this excellent opportunity to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of some of the most extraordinary and talented youth within these Cayman Islands. Complete your nominations online using the new Youth Services Unit website at www.youthservices.ky. That is www.youthservices.ky. If you are not so inclined, then download a nomination form and submit the completed form by email to info.ysu@gov.ky. Help us to recognize excellence among youth in the Cayman Islands. Submit your nominations today. I thank you.
A message from the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands.
Shaken yet standing firm.
I was not built to break.
This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. In case you're just tuning in, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and we have a special segment today where we are featuring 4 female presidents from the Rotary clubs here in Cayman. Unfortunately, our 5th president was not able to be here, and that was Miss Gina McBrien from the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. Before we go to our 2 p.m. headline news, though, let's quickly delve into the women's side of this conversation. We've explored your own personal journeys within Rotary itself. But President Janae, with regards to the women's evolution in Rotary itself, can you walk us a bit about that? Walk us through that history.
Sure. So I don't know how many listeners are aware that in the history of the Rotary Club internationally, globally, women were not always a part of the club. So the club started, I believe, 150 years ago, thereabouts. Internationally by a man called Paul Harris. I think it was 1919 or 1918. 1905. Oh, goodness, 1905. Trivia question for the next happy hour, Courtney. And women were not a part of the club. It was an all-male club set out to do good in the world. And about 30-odd years ago, there was a decision made to remove, I guess, the word male or man from the bylaws to allow women in Rotary, and that was on an international stage. And so women then became welcomed into Rotary. From a local standpoint, I believe the first woman who was admitted into a Rotary club here in Cayman was in about 95, 97, 96. Yeah. So she, under President Jennison Nunez, 1995, 1996, we had the first woman in Rotary in the Cayman Islands. And then a few years later, in 1998, we had the first woman president in Rotary, and that was the president of Grand Cayman, Gina McBride, who's the current president, is not here now. But she was the, catalyst for women in leadership positions here in Cayman. But as you know, in the Caribbean, women have always been strong leaders of the household, of the community, and so it was only fitting that women, and only expected that women would rise so quickly and so prominently in Rotary here in Cayman as well.
Okay, and then we had Rotary Central, just looking at some of the years.
Yep.
Rotary Central had their first lady president, Miss Sandy McFarland.
Right, she was in 2007, past President Sandy McFarland. In Sunrise,
in Sunrise, that same year, Rosie Jameson was the first president of Sunrise, and past President Rosie told me that there was also a female president of Grand Cayman that same year.
Oh,
so
nice.
that year, all three clubs were female presidents. 2007, 2018, and also the AG was Sophie Harris.
So this actually is not as memorable of a 25
No, the
Rotary
clubs now are at it.
So that's what we're going to add now. So they're giving some context on the Rotary clubs in the island. So conversely, Rotaract did not have these diversity issues, well, as far as we've seen recorded, because as you can imagine, Rotaract is actually Rotary in action. So that's where we got, so we're at the time we're 18 to 30. But historically, we have not seen that sort of segregation at the Rotaract level. In fact, our first president was Dorothy Scott, and first female president, and our club has experienced 50-50 on the leadership front, because I'm the 15th president, and I can honestly say it's actually gone both ways as the years have gone by. Female president, male president, female president, male president. So we haven't actually had that same experience at the Rotaract level.
Yeah, and actually on our club's front, so I'm the 14th president, and we've actually only had 2 males.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
and so we had 2 male presidents, and then our third president, Shirai Mascal, she was our third president in 2010. And it's been women ever since. So it's been definitely, since inception, Rotaract has been in operation 52 years. Mm-hmm. 52 years, and it has always been a club for young men and women of good character.
That's interesting, because I think for us in Grand Cayman Sunrise, I'm the 19th president, and we've had, I believe, 8 or 9 female presidents. So it's almost balanced, and it's a situation where the change definitely came, where once women came in to the Rotary organization and were admitted and went through that whole case in the U.S. where, because it wasn't just as simple. Once we put our foot in, it became all-inclusive, and women of action, that term is not only coined, it's not only a phrase, but we are actually doers. And I think the club benefited from the diversity, from what we bring to the club.
For sure.
And the leadership. We've had extremely strong women leading the clubs, and very different personalities, but all doing great jobs in each club. So.
That's great. That's some great context in history. I didn't have all that before. So 14 presidents have been 14 on your side.
Oh, no, 11.
11. All right. Thank you so much for clarifying that. And let's go to our 2 p.m. headline news right now. When we come back, we'll be meeting more with our ladies here from the Rotary families. We'll be back with more talk today right after this.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The Civil Aviation Authority of the Cayman Islands presents a donation to Meals on Wheels as the third recipient of its monthly staff event, aiding local organizations assisting the community during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the pandemic, Meals on Wheels served 500 people every day, which was over their projected budget for the year of 230 to 250 clients. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. The U.S. economy emerged quickly from the depths of the crisis triggered by coronavirus lockdowns this spring, but full recovery remains out of reach. Official figures show the economy grew at a record 7.4% in the 3 months to September 30th from the prior quarter, when it suffered a severe decline, but output remained 2.9% lower compared to the same period a year ago. And the Marshall Islands, one of the last few places in the world untouched by COVID-19, has recorded its first 2 positive cases of the virus. The government of the remote Pacific archipelago said 2 workers at a U.S. base had tested positive after arriving from Hawaii on Tuesday. The pair flew in on a military flight and have been isolated from the wider community since arriving. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Your voice, your choice, your radio.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. Again, I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and very pleased to have in studio 4 presidents from 4 of our Rotary clubs here in Cayman. We have President Jonay Moss from Rotary Central Cayman Islands, President Courtney Michelle from Rotary Grand Cayman, President Stacy Park from Rotary Sunrise Cayman Islands, and President Alana Rose Warwick Smith, President of Rotaract Blue. Unfortunately absent today is President Gina McBrien, the President of Rotary Club of Grand Cayman, and a very special show in that all 5 of the clubs are being led by female presidents, along with 3 other service clubs here in Cayman, the Lions Club of Grand Cayman, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, and Kiwanis, who also all have female presidents. We do have one caller on the line. Let's go to our caller. Good afternoon, caller. Thanks for calling Talk Today.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Singh. You're doing a wonderful job surrounded by all of that powerful leadership.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'd like to commend our president for doing a remarkable job. It was inevitable that women would be taking more prominent roles, considering the history of our community, which is significantly matriarchal, coming from the maritime heritage that we have when 90% of our men were at sea. So women easily assume leadership. I'd just like to add a little bit. Alice Anderson, an entrepreneur who ran a gas station facility up until the early 1980s, became the first lady admitted to Rotary in the Grand Cayman Club. And I just want to put that one on the burner. And we're enjoying your discussion. Thank you very much, Lady President. Have a wonderful rest of the interview.
Thank you so much for calling in, callers. Appreciate that and the clarity on Miss Alice Anderson. Thank you so much. So before the break, we were discussing the baseline history of the women's involvement within the Rotary organizations. As far as your own personal take on your journeys as a woman and your journeys through Rotary, how important do you feel this changing of the guard, so to speak, is, and what does it mean to you to be a woman president of your organization?
All right, so just as I've indicated, with the diversity that we've had in Rotaract, I wasn't faced with that challenge at all. So I don't have any context toward any sort of discrimination. Sure. Being female, being a woman president, our members have just been very supportive of people. They've identified persons that they think will be able to lead the club in a very positive way and getting our names out and our brand out and just, you know, doing what we can and continue to have fellowship and just enhancing the community. So I've never actually faced any particular challenge as it relates to being a woman in this leadership role. And, you know, I don't have much to speak on that in that regard.
You know, I actually wouldn't mind commenting very quickly on that. It's a sign of progress, right?
But generally,
yeah,
this is what I will say. It's good seeing the progression, because what I will comment on at the international level, when we talk about Rotary International, they've had their first woman RI president nominee. She'll be coming in, I think, in 2023? 2022, right.
That's Rotary International.
Yes, Rotary International. So every year, leaders are picked years in advance.
Sure.
And in the 115-year history of Rotary, they've never had a female RI president, which I think is great considering where the club is coming from, the organization on a whole. I'm very proud of that. That is progressive, and we're hoping that, you know, that it will be the norm, just as we've seen it in our clubs here in Cayman, where women presidents have been acknowledged, have done great work, have gone down in history. So too, we want to see that at the international organization level. So I'm excited about that. It's a good time. When it got announced, everybody was quite excited, and
every group chat blew up.
Yes, globally. So that was a good thing, and I'm glad that I'm a part of that process being in the club.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. President Lana, same as yourself.
Yeah, likewise to President Courtney's point, we obviously can't share because of the history of Rotaract. We didn't kind of experience the same things. But what I can say, being a part of this female leadership collective, it's just been such a support, because when you tell people you're president of a service club and they're not involved, they kind of think of like an after-school club. They don't really realize that these are fully functional operations that have boards that we meet monthly, and we're bringing in significant amounts of revenue to give back to the community. And it's lonely, because the process, like the things that you're experiencing at this level, you kind of can't. You're leading a club. You need to keep a certain rapport and things like that, and to have a collective like we do with the other female presidents, it's so special to be able to share these bonds and share these moments, and, you know, hey, I'm struggling. Hey, can we talk about something? And it's really, really special. There's nothing quite like it.
Thank you. President Stacy.
Well, what is interesting for me is that while we were talking, I was looking at the list of presidents for my club, and for the last 10 years, 7 of them have been women. So I'm the 7th woman in the last 10 years.
Sure.
And so I came in seeing, when I joined the club in 2011, seeing women being in leadership positions. The good thing that I see now, and I feel even going through that whole COVID situation and taking up the leadership role at my club, is that those same presidents that I mentioned has passed, PP Andrea, PP JD, they would come and ask me, you know, do you need any help? Do you need some information on this? I can call or text now, and I will get an answer in 2 minutes from certain people. And so it's a support that continues not only at this level here with these presidents, but with the past presidents also pushing and encouraging women in leadership in the club. So it has been very, it's heartwarming to see where we're going, where we've been, and just pushing for more people to step up and take that leadership role. So, yeah. Women in Rotary is here to stay. That is for sure.
Good.
It's interesting you talked about the progression that we've had in Rotary with the involvement of women. And I thought about it, and I realized when I joined Rotary, and this is probably because I didn't have the Rotaract affiliation, I didn't know anything other than someone inviting me to the first meeting. I did not even know there was a history in Rotary where women weren't allowed. That didn't come up for me until I actually joined the organization and began to learn a little bit about the history. And so I think that speaks volumes for the integration that we experience in all of our clubs, that women have become such an essential and normal part of the day-to-day running of the club that someone who does not even know the history would never think that we went through the history that we did. So I think that's great progress, amazing progress. And I would like to say, for me, I believe I am the 5th president, female president of Rotary Central. But we have women coming up in the subsequent years. In fact, we have the president after me because, as President Courtney say, we actually
plan ahead.
We plan ahead. And like President Alana said, this isn't a toy organization. We are fully functioning organizations. In fact, if we were all paid to do our jobs, we would be well into the six figures of what it takes to run an organization like Rotary.
Sure.
But we have the upcoming president, who is the president-elect, Curtailing Goodman, female. We just had our elections for the next Rotary year as well. And the president-elect is yet another female, president-elect Jennifer Tippett. So Rotary is on a roll when it comes to women in leadership. And I would say for sure there is definitely a positive impact that women are making, and that the integration of women and men have done nothing but improve, I think, Rotary in general.
Great.
Yeah. And could I point out something that I've observed in my time in Rotary? Whenever we go to these events, usually at the end of a year or a changeover, what I've seen is the wives of the presidents getting huge acknowledgments.
Yes.
Been honored with Paul Harris Fellowships, being honored as honorary members, because they know what it takes to stand behind your husband or your partner who is a president, and the sacrifices that they have to make. So I've actually, given that, we've been integrating and it's been going great, I've noticed that, not with just the clubs here in Cayman, but we've gotten the opportunity to see internationally what's done. And you've always seen that respect given to the wives of these members who are very active in the club, usually presidents or board members who are very active. Thank you so much for giving him to us. Thank you for donating, because women have had to be supportive, or not had to, but have been supporting Rotary since the beginning. So it's really good to see now that it's the norm, and we're getting to the point where women in Rotary is being normalized, and hopefully at some point we won't even have to highlight it, other than it just being another fact in our history.
So the next show we're going to have to do is on the recognition of the husbands then. Is that what I'm understanding here now? Whoa.
All inclusive, of course.
On that note, let's go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be having our final segment here with our four ladies from the Rotary Clubs. Back to more talk today right after this.
JN money card. When my land up a JN, me get the money card with them. Just show them your ID and give them your TRN. Go and use at the ATM or swipe instead then. And when you need more cash, and make your family send it in a flash. From abroad to card, get the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. JN Money Card only available and used in Jamaica. Call 345-945-2014 for details.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Are you currently a member and interested in management of your pension plan? If so, consider volunteering to be elected as a trustee at our upcoming extraordinary general meeting to be held on the 4th of November. Please visit our website, chamberpension.ky, or email pensions@chamberpension.ky for further details. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens will be hosting a breast cancer awareness meeting happening tonight, 7 o'clock, at the Lions Community Center. Applications can be made at the meeting by women who meet the established criteria to receive a voucher for free mammogram screening. There will be a panel discussion featuring Dr. Robinson and Dr. Armones from the Doctors Hospital, along with a breast cancer survivor. Remember, the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens hosting a breast cancer awareness meeting tonight, 7 at the Lions Community Center.
Over 60 years ago, we started as an insurance company to put people first. Today, with all of the challenges our world is facing, that mission has never been more important. Brit-K is now CG Brit-K. And though our name has changed, our purpose hasn't. We're still the same people-first company we've always been. And we're here for you, stronger than ever. CG Brit-K.
Nominations for round 12 of the Proud of Them award scheme opened on the 30th day of September and were scheduled to close on October 21st. Today, I am pleased to announce the extension of the nomination period until October 31st. I implore you all to use this excellent opportunity to celebrate the remarkable accomplishments of some of the most extraordinary and talented youth within these Cayman Islands. Complete your nominations online using the new Youth Services Unit website at www.youthservices.ky. That is www.youthservices.ky. If you are not so inclined, then download a nomination form and submit the completed form by email to info.ysu@gov.ky. Help us to recognize excellence among youth in the Cayman Islands. Submit your nominations today. I thank you.
A message from the Honorable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, Minister for Education, Youth, Sports, Agriculture and Lands.
The Honeymoon Over, a CNCF production, heard on Radio Cayman Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 6:45 p.m. is proudly sponsored by Radio Cayman, Ministry of Culture, CUC, Grape Tree Cafe, Cayman Medical Supplies, and Puritan Cleaners. Make sure and tune in. You hear?
And if you missed the Honeymoon Over, no problem. You can join us for a repeat broadcast of episodes 5 through 8 on Saturday, October 31st at 6:30 p.m. The Honeymoon Over, a CNCF production.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, and just about 10 more minutes left in our show today. In case you were just tuning in, we are joined here today in the studio with 4 different presidents from the Rotary family of clubs here in Cayman. We have President Jonay Moss from Rotary Central Cayman Islands, President Courtney Michelle from Rotaract Grand Cayman, President Stacy Park from Rotary Sunrise Cayman Islands, and President Alana Rose Warwick Smith, who is president of Rotaract Blue. And unfortunately missing today is President Gina McBrien, the president of Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. Ladies, I do want to say thank you again for taking the time to come in today and to share your own personal stories and journeys through 2020 and as well through your journeys through Rotary and your service organizations. If you don't mind, if we can now delve into a bit about your respective Rotaract clubs and what your focus projects are for our community members and how people can get involved with your club if they want more information. President Courtney.
All right, so the Rotaract Club of Grand Cayman, we enjoy having diverse partnerships in the community. I'll talk about 3 of our key projects. We have the Brown Paper Bag Initiative, where we partner with the Department of Community Rehabilitation. Now, as you know, every month they have clients for the mental health court that they come in that day, and they spoke about struggling a little bit with having those attendees show up. So in 2012, actually, a member of the club brought it to the board to say, hey, how can we help with this? And that's how Brown Paper Bag was born. So what we do is we fill these lunch bags, actual brown paper bags, with snacks, some lunch, a drink, and we draw on the bags inspirational messages for those mental health court attendees. And we drop those off once a month. And, it's a way for the club to even come together to do it, because we'll pick a spot, everybody comes by, colors these bags, we fill them up with snacks, and we drop them off at the DCR. So that's one of our major projects that actually got an outstanding award back in 2016 in the region of North America, the Caribbean, and Latin America. So we got like an RI recognition for that one, which we're very proud of. In 2016, we started our Ready Set Snack initiative, in which we partner with Feed Our Future to do a snack drive to, instead of asking for funds, we ask for snacks. So sometimes they're posted up by Cost You Less, Hurley's, and we collect snacks from the public. They can give monetary donations if they like. Our last drive that we had over the summer, we collected over 11,000 snacks because the whole purpose is to eliminate student hunger. Sure. So Feed Our Future does a needs assessment of students who are in families that are not fortunate enough to constantly have food, even going to school. And so we have these snacks there for counselors, teachers, and so on to give to these students. Usually it's for about 200 students each year. Because of the pandemic, we've had that number has grown. It's more than doubled to over 500, and Feed Our Future says they constantly get applications in. So we try to do our part in getting that, in plugging that gap. And finally, I'll talk about one of our events that just happened over the weekend. We've dubbed it the World's Greatest Happy Hour, in which we raise funds for ending polio globally, which is a Rotary International initiative. But this year, we decided to add a local cost to that, and we donate some of the funds to the Cayman Islands Crisis Center, because they have a long wish list, and we know that they're very much in need of resources, and we want to help with them being able to stay open and be able to help as many persons as they can. So our event went really well. We had it at the lodge in the Strand, and it was really good. We had prizes, raffle prizes, persons donated, personal donations. We had quite a bit of sponsors giving us raffle prizes, and we really appreciated everyone who assisted, came out, supported, and we had a good time. And we raised upwards of $4,500. The count is still happening, but it was a very impactful event.
Was it the world's greatest happy hour?
It was the world's greatest happy hour. Yeah, so if you want to find out more about Rotaract Club of Grand Cayman, you can check out our website, rotaractky.org, and check us out on all social media platforms at Rotaract CGC. So
what was that last one? Sorry.
Rotaract CGC, yep. And that's for Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Miss Facebook.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember them. But yes, right. And our website. So if you type in Rotaract Grand Cayman, it will come up in Google, and you can see all of our activities, all of our projects, and so on.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, President Courtney.
Thank you.
President Alana, same to you. What is your club up to these days?
So Rotaract Blue is a service club for young adults ages 18 and over. We do not have an age limit to our club. So all young adults, or maybe some people who are young at heart, not quite ready to transition to Rotary yet, are welcome. We meet every other Wednesday, the first, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month, at Spanglish Restaurant in the Strand. And so Rotaract Blue, we have been operating since 2007 when we first received our charter. We have a number of key projects, but what we like to do is we focus on platforms because it was a decision made years ago, but the idea was to spread the need amongst one focused area and aims to kind of compound our efforts and compound our efforts. So we are very proud of our Open Arms platform, where we focus on inclusivity in the community. So we have a number of different projects that stem off of that, but every May we have the Open Arms Gala, where we award members of the special needs community, their family members, maybe caretakers, teachers who aren't recognized. And so that project did not get off the ground because of COVID this year, so we're really excited for next year.
Sure.
A number of other projects that we have our Put Your Best Foot Forward initiative, where we work with the Department of Children and Family Services to provide school shoes for kids in the community. This year we provided 133 kids with school shoes. Wow. And we actually we raised over US $8,000, and we got a $5,000 commitment for next year. So it's really, to President Courtney's point with the brown paper bag initiative, Rotary's big thing is we want sustainable projects in the community. It's not like you'll find other organizations in the world, they'll come in and maybe they'll dig a well, but then the well runs dry. It's providing communities with sustainable opportunities to continue the help after we're long gone. So those are two. And the final one I think that I'll highlight is we have the Fred Spears 5K. So that's every March. And we raise money through a 5K walk run to go towards a vocational grant for a student age 16 to 30. And what's really special about that is most scholarships in the Cayman Islands are only for Caymanian students. We extend that to permanent residents and expatriates.
For the educational grant from
Yeah.
Fred Spears. That any particular field that they have to study in?
Just like a vocational service.
Just any vocational service.
Yeah.
That's great. And how can they find more information on Rotaract Blue?
So our website is rotaractblue.org. So you can find us online there or at Rotaract Blue on all social media.
On all social medias.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You're everywhere. Thank you so much, President Lana. President Stacy, sing with yourself.
Well, the good thing about Rotary is that it's an international organization, and the main thing is we follow the same ideals in relation to giving back to the community, both locally and internationally. Rotary Sunrise, we have a variety of projects. I should first say we meet on Wednesday mornings at Georgetown Yacht Club. I know it's very early, but it's a breakfast club, and you get your day started in a positive way. So
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday mornings.
At what time?
7 a.m. So we ask you to come at 6:45 to get your breakfast, get settled, and have a little fellowship. And by 8 o'clock, you're out the door with a positive spin on your day for Wednesdays, right? We are also on all social media platforms, and our email address is rcgcsunrise, all right, at gmail.com. But back to the projects, we focus, I think the ones I want to highlight is life, literacy for everyone, giving and ensuring that basic education and literacy is a main focus for our club. We do that not only by supporting life, but also in terms of raising funds for backpack projects or giving back students to DCFS and ensuring that the students who are in need are provided with the supplies they need for the school year. We also support the Crisis Center. And that is not just a one-off donation, but during the year they may have different things that we would provide to them, both monetary-wise and or in terms of items that they need. Our main fundraiser is the car raffle that recently wrapped up. And at the back of each ticket, what we do is list all the projects so the community knows where their money is going. So the list, if you, past President Matt just sent me a picture of the ticket to show what's the list, and there is about 17 different things there. So, okay. Yeah, because we make sure to try to help as much people as we can. So in terms of, if you need to know any more about Rotary Sunrise, come to a meeting, send us an email. You will see, it's best to come and see for yourself.
Sure.
Ask the questions, because people always want to know, what do we do? Where does the money go? One of the important things I think I want to say before I move on to we move on to President Janae is that when we say we're raising money for Cayman Islands Crisis Center or Polio Plus or whatever, all of the money raised goes to that. There's no administrative fees when the public is giving money to Rotary. It's not going somewhere else. It's going to that cause. Okay. So no matter what project any one of these clubs tell you that they're doing it, and they're doing it back, giving back to the community. And we also have international project. I must mention the Garuma project in providing education, again, and also education and medical supplies to the people most in need in a rural area in Honduras. So that is something that we also... Garuma, yes.
Garuma.
So...
Garuma project. All right, fantastic. And again, your website for...
The website is, RotarySunrise.ky, I believe. Yes.
Okay. RotarySunrise.ky.
Yes.
No, it's all good. And you're available on all social media as well?
All social media. Very active. Instagram, Facebook, and we answer emails within 24 hours.
Ooh, is that a guarantee?
Yeah, guaranteed.
With their money back. All right, and President Dre, not to rush you. I feel like I've had to rush you a few times. What does the Rotary Central clubs have to do here in the community? Or what are your major projects here in the community?
Of course. No rush at all. So we meet, first of all, at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday evening. So we're the night club. And we
you're the non-morning people.
We're the non-morning people. The normal people of life, yes.
Normal people.
And we meet right now at Saltwater Grill. That is in Galleria Plaza, the White and Blue Plaza. And in terms of projects, just to get right into it, because I know we're running out of time, we have a lot of big projects. We sponsor Junior Achievement, the bus shelters, so the community bus shelters that you see around the community, the upcoming Dr. Bill H. Rudy Science Fair, the little free libraries, you might see them, where you can take free books, free literature.
Correct.
We have what we call now, we're still debating the name, but we've done it now. This will be our third time doing it, sort of an Unsung Heroes Awards, where we look at those vocations in the community that are not always representative or recognized, and we have an award ceremony and dinner and gala for them. We'll unveil what that is early January, because I'm really excited of what that is this year. We have the diabetes health screening. We have story times for children. We have the Moby Mat beach access for the persons who need that wheelchair assistance on the beach.
Sure.
And we have some environmental projects coming up this year, a community garden, a plant a tree. And we support various other community projects. We support cleanups of the community. We support the YMCA, the Crisis Center, the Special Needs Foundation, which has just been rebranded last night, Inclusion Cayman. And to speak to some of the international projects we do as well, as President Stacey was saying, we just provided some water tanks for some of the schools in Jamaica, we did a health screening in Jamaica about 2 years ago, and we saw the condition of some of the schools, and so we thought that was a necessary project. So like President Stacey says, I'm going to bring up music extravaganza again, because we really are raising these funds not to sit in a bank account and look pretty. We are raising them to go back to you, the community, not in terms of only community projects, but you can win for yourself 40,000 CI dollars. If you need tickets, you can reach Rotary Central and our contact information on our website, which is rotarycentral.ky. Once you go to the website, you'll have our contact information. We're also available as well on all social media platforms, Rotary Central Cayman. You can get tickets there as well as on eventpro.ky.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. I know it's a lot of information you've all given to the community, so I'm going to read out your websites again. It's Rotaract Cayman is rotaractky.org.
Yes.
Rotaract Blue is rotaractblue.org. Rotary Sunrise is rotarysunrise.ky, and Rotary Central is rotarycentral.ky. And another shameless plug, they have the Rotary Extravaganza going on right now.
Buy your tickets
right now. And the drawing for that is November
28th.
November 28th. Alrighty, thank you so much. And you're available on all social media channels. Can't forget that part. Thank you so much again for coming in. Congratulations again on your presidencies, and as well to President Gina McBrien, the president of Rotary Club of Grand Cayman. On that note, we do need to call it a wrap for today's show. Thank you again to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation. Miss Susan Watson for keeping us in check, and our guest, Miss Melanie McField from Pirates Week, and our esteemed presidents from the various Rotary clubs here in Cayman. It has been a pleasure bringing you talk today, and on behalf of the entire Radio Cayman family, thank you for sharing your afternoon with us. I'm Raymond Singh. God bless, and have a fantastic rest of your Thursday.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.